Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Intel Extreme Masters Katowice, as we are in the midst of Group A currently, with our 24 players left and ready to go. For now, though, I am joined at the desk by Maynard and Artosis after that pretty swift series by herO there. But I'm seeing that, Maynard, you have the remnants. I like how I said that. The remnants, the ashes of the last series that was happening on that laptop between herO Marine and Beyond.
I do, and the ashes, unfortunately, were of the German Terran here. As we're getting into sort of like the I guess the apex of the very final moments of Game 2 here on Belgium Vestige. I mean, you can just see already. If you look at the supply, we have lots more army here for Bjorn. +1, he's had it for a while. His Marines have been stronger. He's had more army, more workers, and he's got sort of this contain on herO Marine. And herO Marine does a lot of really cool stuff with Ravens. I just missed it, unfortunately, but you know, he's using auto turrets. He's trying to be as cost efficient as possible with his energy here. But I mean, if we fast forward a little bit, we just see that Bjorn just has a little bit too much. I mean, it just keeps going up and up and up. He has the extra economy. Can't break him. And just, you know, herO Marine decides in the end that, hey, has to go out with a whimper, unfortunately. No massive engagement sealing the deal. It's just Beyond with too much, and herO Marine recognizing that he's been outclassed, unfortunately. Oh well. So good stuff there by Beyond to take that series. But now, gentlemen, we're going to talk a little bit about herO versus Ryung. Two players here who have started out with a win. herO in a little bit more of a shaky fashion, I suppose, but Ryung already looking good against Bjorn in their previous series. So what do we make of this series, guys?
I mean, this is a fantastic series. Ryung right now is on fire. He's in the round 4 of GSL.
Yep.
And I mean, he's killing it here if he's already up 2-0. But herO is like basically the scariest Protoss to go up against for any Terran player. He can make the game more down and dirty than anyone else.
Right.
And he's so good in those situations.
Yeah, herO is a guy that's sort of... there was a lot of time where Protoss would say that they would never be able to beat a Terran, you know, quite recently, actually. But herO is one of those guys that sort of refined a lot of the really aggressive, super cheesy things that Protoss has been doing to eliminate Terrans in the very, very early game. And he is definitely a master of the craft when it comes to that.
Yeah, and the thing is, he also can just kind of macro as well as anybody and has great decision-making and stuff like that. But, like, where he really shines is when the game gets dirty, because I think his micro is basically second to none amongst Protosses. I would probably give him the top micro award. And I think we'll see some of that against Ryung. I think we're going to see things like pylon rushes, quick oracles, and some more prism play.
Whenever I think about herO from our past Intel Extreme Masters, and there's been many of them that he's been at the beginning, I always did see him as kind of like that macro guy, as you're mentioning, like he actually had very strong macro, etc. But as time's gone on, it feels like he's just gotten more aggressive. Yeah. And that can have varied results for herO. I don't think his results as late have been as good as they were, say, like a year or two past. Would you agree with that assessment?
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. Like, back during Heart of the Storm, this guy was playing mostly longer macro games, but it was a different time for the game as well. And truthfully, as Maynard said, he's like one of the leaders of Protoss right now that kind of showed what you can do against Terran. So, you know, I think he's kind of adapting with the times, and truthfully, the aggressive play suits him better with his strong micro.
At the same time, though, on the other side, we have Ryung. Currently, top 4 of GSL, not eliminated yet, just beat the world champion. Is this Ryung putting himself truly on the map to a degree that we have never seen before?
The answer is an overwhelming yes. Being in the round of 4 of GSL is an incredible feat, especially for a player that's really not had that super stuff. I mean, he has had round of 4 finishes for sure, and like he's been on the top in the higher echelons of Terran before. But right now, with this state of the game, in a group along with, you know, Innovation, a group of Terrans rather, with Innovation, TY, Maru, he's the only Terran remaining in GSL, and it is off the back of his TvT. He's proven that the TvT is definitely his master, like his main matchup is TvT. We're about to find out if TvP is anywhere near as good. Because if it is, he's got a really good shot at getting through this group.
Yeah, so what do you think herO has to look out for here? I mean, is he the one that has to dictate the pace, or is Ryung somebody who is going to throw some aggression his way as well? What do you think?
You know, for Ryung, he will throw in some aggression. Like, he likes to do things like tank and Liberator pushes. We saw that against Petit Trogo. He likes to do things like quick Liberator range and that type of thing. But a lot of that, I think, is because this is his weak matchup. Like, if he can actually show us rock solid TVP, he can win this tournament. But I think that this really is his weakness, and if herO is dictating that game and staying aggressive, he's not going to have time to do any of the tricky stuff that he likes to do, you know, with these kind of expensive unit compositions and upgrades.
Right, right. We're just waiting a few moments here while the two players get ready and good to go. It seems like Ryung might be having one or two slight issues there.
He's going to be logging off and logging on, so he's just trying to... I've been keeping an eye on him in the chat here. But
I see. Yeah, it's good that we have these laptops.
We do. I think just a quick shout out to the man behind the curtain here, I suppose, or the men behind the curtain.
Oh no.
They actually do a fantastic job with these laptops. I've actually, if I was a fan watching from home, I would be praising and
yes,
showering adoration over whoever came up with the idea of getting laptops out so that we can follow the whole storyline on the mainstream, really.
So thanks, Apollo and other members.
That's the man, yeah.
Why do we have to thank Apollo? I don't want to thank Apollo for anything.
We are done with it, by the way. Like, it's not happening again.
Oh, okay, good, good. I'm okay with that.
We might as well while we're talking about the laptops, that's all.
All right, so yeah, just waiting a few minutes more here as I've just been informed that Ryung does have one or two slight issues that he's working out. Meanwhile, herO, happy herO, just chilling out in his booth, ready to go. What predictions do you have here, guys, in regards to this matchup coming up?
For this matchup in particular, like, I think that herO's going to take it like 2-0 probably,
wow.
to be honest.
Okay.
He's so scary in PvT. You have to be really rock solid in every way to beat him because he is going to make it so down and dirty. And the thing is about Ryung, he's so strong against Zerg, right? Like, he uses all sorts of weird mech builds. I think that he's a danger to every Zerg in the tournament. And then you look at his TvT, which of course is his pride and joy. He can beat everybody in that for sure, obviously. But when he's going to be so messed up in a really gross game against herO, and I don't say this lightly, he really makes the games crazy. He just brings you down to another level that you don't get to practice very much.
Right.
He'll out-micro you. He has that killer instinct, and I think that's really tough. I think it takes a Terran player like a Bjorn or a Maru, you know, to kind of get down on herO's level and stop his shenanigans.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to say herO 2-0 as well. I'm quite sure that Ryung has been practicing very, very hard with TVP because it is a matchup that he not only need to worry about here in Group A, but also back at home in Korea, GSL needs to worry about TVP as well. So I'm sure he's trying very hard, but like Artosis said, there's Protosses and then there's herO. It's a different beast. It's a tough thing to practice against unless you hit him on ladder constantly. All
right, well, thank you very much, gentlemen. We'll be checking in with you in just a little bit. For now, though, we're going to head over to the casting team as they bring us herO versus Ryung for our next series.
Thank you very much, guys. Very exciting match here that we have on our hands. A rematch from the GSL round of 16. I like that herO stayed modest in his interview. He said, you know what, I was successful in my last series against Ryung, but he seems to be improving a lot, so I'm going to give him and show him some respect. Well, let's see if he does in the game.
He's always modest, though. Even after he's lifting the trophy, he's like, no, everybody's really good. It's going to be hard to win this tournament. It's like, herO, you've already won. He's like, oh, okay. Well, they're still all really good, you know, so I don't believe it. I'm going to disagree with the gentleman on the desk, though. I have a feeling that Ryung can take this series, but we'll see, though. It's going to be a fun one. I think it's really hard to call.
Let's get started here. Starting in the top left-hand side of Cactus Valley, playing as the Red Protoss. It is Root for Roots, herO.
How many Phoenixes and Adept is this man going to make? Obviously a unit combination that I do love myself as a Protoss, but I always find it hard to make it work against Terran. You just need to hit fast and hard and make sure that they don't get a massive army, because it really does fall off hard as soon as Terran goes above 140, 150 supply. Either way, over here on the left bottom side of Cactus Valley, looking at the main base of the Terran, who took a very strong 2-0 victory over Bjorn, it's Ryung. For this.
All the talk about the Terrans usually revolves around innovation, Bjorn, Maru and TY, but Ryung, the new Terran on the block that wants to try and pass these guys, and to be honest, he's been doing just that in the GSL. Maybe he can do the same thing here in the Intel Extreme Masters World Championship. He opened up with the Nexus first year on Cactus Valley, and he's going to rely on the fact that it's a 4-player map, and actually Ryung did not scout because he went for a pretty greedy build himself.
That's actually crazy, though. I mean, you kind of just read it up like, oh, he went Nexus first. Maybe he just knows Ryung so well, and he knows that Ryung likes to go CC first on maps like this, because if you go Nexus first and they open up with a Reaper, like God forbid they would drop a barracks in the middle of the map and proxy the Reaper, But I still think in any situation where they open up with a standard Reaper, you can end up losing 3-4 workers, and then obviously Nexus first is not worth it anymore at all. And it can even be worse, because it really takes a while before the Cyber Core is done. Then you have to make a Mothership Core, which is not as fast as the Reaper.
Then again, herO is known for his micro. I don't know, maybe he doesn't lose any. Maybe he's a ninja.
I don't believe it. No one does that. These Korean Terrans with their Reapers, they are incredibly sick puppies. But I guess herO just knows his opponent incredibly well, and he felt he can get away with it. He's going to follow it up with a very fast Stargate as well. What a build so far by herO, Todd. Nexus first into like pretty much the fastest Stargate you can get after Nexus first. What a guy.
I like that on the desk they mentioned the micro of herO. The units that were mentioned though were, I think, the Adepts. And he already showed some very good Adept play against Snoot, but I think he's Stalkers. He's originally what he was really known for, and a lot of the time you're going to see this guy go into Stalkers eventually, but now because he's opening Stargate, he's most likely going to be Adepts. And Phoenix Adept in the hands of a guy who micros as well as herO and knows when to attack as well as this guy, like, he has a great killer instinct. That goes across every single matchup, and it has been like that for the longest time. So he's just a great build all around for him to be using, I think.
Good news for Ryung, of course, because he went CC first. He followed up with 3 barracks, and I always think that's quite good against any sort of Stargate play. What the hell is he doing, Todd? He's going up to 3 bases, 3 minutes and 40 seconds into the game, of 1 Adept and an Oracle, just because he's playing against CC first. Let's see if he can survive the first onslaught of Marines. Like, if I'm Ryung right now, I get a missile turret in both mineral lines, Todd, and I rally nothing but Marines across the map. I will never stop.
Yeah, overcharged by a middle of time. If Ryung knew, he could actually get a cancel on that third Nexus. He's actually going to overcommit to this. Takes a lot of damage there. Yeah. On a lot of these Marines, he's got a few left over.
Oracle's coming home. Oracle's coming home.
herO loses. He's 1 Adept there. That's a dead probe.
Yep.
The Oracle's going to clean up, though.
Yeah.
Nice.
I mean, he does force the Oracle to come back. He also spots the second Oracle, I believe.
Ryung should know that there's a third Nexus from having spotted the gateways and the Stargate, I think. Like, the timing that the gateways finished, that there was clearly a Nexus started before this gateway started.
I don't know, he's probably going to check for it right now, but he hasn't done it yet. This is the Christopher Columbus Marine that's going to have to do the job. Shame there, because if Ryung goes for the Nexus, there is a chance he gets the guaranteed cancel. Now let's see how much damage herO can do with 2 Oracles, and we know that he's very good with them. Oh man, what a... Whoa, there's no missile turret over here in the main. These Oracles having an absolute field day, and
Are you kidding me?
Wow, Ryung is taking so much damage.
Give this guy a Formula 1 because he's a sick pilot right there. Snipes a ton of SCVs and then gets out Phoenix production behind this.
Oh my god, did the poor Marine die before it got the confirmation of the Nexus? What happened? He still doesn't know that the Nexus is there?
Yeah, actually he didn't see it. I mean, he should know, right?
Yeah,
He should be able to get an inkling that this could have happened. He's gonna go and try and confirm it.
Man, what a game. What a weird build. The way that herO played, it's so incredibly greedy, but he got away with everything, and after the 2 Oracles just ravaged the entire main base.
This is the scout of, yep, I'm probably dead. Sees a third base, saturation there already, extra gateways. He knows that basically herO is going to go into some massive Adept production, and when you've lost as many Marines as Ryung has already this game, his army is going to be so much smaller than he would have been otherwise.
Yep. Can we take a look at how many Marines have died so far in the game? Yeah, 13, that's a lot, and 12 SCVs as well. What a game so far by herO. He's on a roll today. Excellent start. Obviously, this is still a very difficult group. Later today, Tal, we're going to get herO against Beyond as well. How sick is that? Can't wait. So far, things are looking pretty dicey for Ryung in game number 1 here. Just wasn't his game, right? If he would have gone for the Nexus or didn't lose that many Marines against the Overcharge, had a missile turret in his main, it would have all been different. Now, I do always believe that as a Terran, you can come back against, you know, Adept Phoenix, especially if the Protoss is stubborn and they don't transition out of it. Yeah. Just sit back, let the army supply go up and sit back. But if Ryung walks across the map, he's going to lose everything.
You can expect Protosses usually to do one of 2 things. Either they drop double forge and then they're comfortable going to 4 bases and bigger armies, or they will attack with a massive amount of army. And in this case, there was only 1 single forge made, plus 1 ground weapons just finished, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be the ladder here for herO, who's going to hit a massive timing with a ton of units.
Ryung, the only way he can defend this if he gets some sort of a Sim City. He needs more than one bunker. He needs a wall. Like if he has a wall, build the wall, Todd. If he would have a wall, he could survive. But if these adepts can adopt these Marines, this is going to be very hard. A couple of mines do come in as well, and the Liberators will siege up. Seems like herO respects this enough to go back for now.
I mean, there is no third base for Ryung. If herO was to take a fourth base, kind of sit back, maybe go into double forge, he'd be in a great position here. Mothership Core in position on that third base, ready to overcharge against the Medivac drop. Let's see if he reacts.
No, he won't. 5. 3. Disappointing, Todd. Ooh, a couple of adepts made it into the main base, and that's a big warp in as well. He obviously has 7 or 8 gateways. Phoenixes are gonna swing in. I mean, it's a numbers game, right?
Oh, this Widow Mines.
Army is massive.
And herO targets those Widow Mines. He didn't have time to reinforce here with the Prism before he actually gets chased away, but there's still a ton of adepts left over. Why is he not getting cannons? Oh, he is now, but not in this base.
It's 3 more, and this one is gonna shoot again. This time should get at least 4.
And herO's actually, he's going for it.
Ah, he raised the depots. This is actually pretty decent though, with the Liberators and the Widow Mines. These adepts are in a little bit of trouble. Man, Ryung is playing fantastic, Todd. He had a very rough start, but he's done everything right in the last minute.
He's made the most of this situation, and I think herO, he really wants to be aggressive there. He's gonna go for a big warp in on the high ground. Ryung was not ready for this. If this warp in finishes, he's gonna be in a lot of trouble because adepts are gonna transfer into the natural base at the same time.
He really wants to get the Prism as well, but good micro there by herO. There are so many adepts in the natural. A lot of SCVs are dying, but it's still not crazy amounts of SCVs. The Prism does get picked off. I mean, Ryung loses 21.
Now.
It was not that bad at first. It was only 12, but now we're looking at 26. Ryung almost has no workers left, but his army, Todd, is going to be a lot bigger. All these adepts are going to die as well. Can Ryung save enough units to run across the map and potentially win this game? Is that possible?
Doubt it. herO at home. He was finally able to get rid of these Widow Mines. He's still on a ton of gateways.
He used F2. The Mothership Core is actually out of position. That would be a bad loss because he has 200 energy. I guess he could recall it. I don't know if herO can defend though. I mean, he's making 7 adepts at once, +2 Void Ray. We'll see.
He shouldn't have made a Prism. Maybe an Immortal would have been better, but looking to try and counter-attack as soon as he can. Either, but I think if herO defends this, he's won the game. He's actually going to snipe a couple of units here, even before getting an engagement.
I don't know if he can defend, though. That's
Void Ray on the way, about to come out, by the way.
Oh, the stasis, that's big. That does get scanned.
That's scanned.
He's going to go for it. Can these adepts save the day? That is still a lot of adepts. Liberate is taking a lot of damage against the Phoenixes. How many? Good movement there on the Marauders as well. Widow Mine splash a little bit. More adepts dying. Ryung is playing a sick game here, Todd. Only having 11 SCVs, but I think he's doing it.
herO engaged very early against his army instead of trying to buy a little bit more time. Void Ray gets taken out instantly, and Ryung is gonna power through this army right there with his counter-attack, never really attempting to take a third. GG!
Wow, Todd, with 11 SCVs, Ryung gets the job done on Cactus Valley. Top 4 GSO, you said? He said so. What a game.
Yeah. herO, I'm really surprised actually that he fought this quick. Like, all you have to do really is try and buy a little bit of time. Like, he could have shaded and then pulled back at the last second, made sure that he gets one more round of warp. Even let one of your bases die if you have to. He kills so many SCVs, but
I think it goes back to the attacks before that. You said this as well. Like, he's on 2 bases. You really don't have to do this. But I think herO is just so used to wanting to do that. And he still did a lot of damage. And I think almost any Terran in the world would fall apart there, because you're looking at 35 adepts shading around in your main base in your natural. Like, that's crazy. But Ryung did a godlike job in defending that. We are very impressed over here. Let's take a look at Kalaris and the boys to see if they were impressed and what else they're looking at.
That's right, let's take a look. Thank you very much, Roddy. I appreciate that. Because now, of course, we are currently in the midst of this series. We did have Snoot versus Solar going on here on the desk as well, but the game just finished. But can you recap
finished up. Well, Snoot ended up winning this game. It's funny, it was on Cactus Valley, and they both went for 12 pools. But Snoot got gas and Solar didn't, right? So Solar made a ton of Zerglings while Snoot was getting speed and actually going for like a Baneling bus type build. And, I mean, it kind of like stabilized a little bit with Snoot with a small lead, and he had that map control and everything. And then, kind of funnily, he went directly into Lair and went directly into +1 and Roach speed and just, like, kept control, kept the pressure on. And eventually, he just like worked it up to +20 supply against won the Roach battle, and that was it.
All right, so 1-0 for Snoot, you're saying. Good
Yep.
stuff. Good stuff so far. Here, meanwhile, though, of course, we are in the midst of herO versus Ryung, and Ryung making that stand there.
I'm glad that Roddy and Todd got to feel for a bit there because my head was still spinning on my shoulders after that game. What a great game by Ryung. I mean, clearly his TVP is not too shabby. He's been putting a lot of work into it. That was a great game. I mean, Phoenix Adept is a thing that a lot of Terrans have to deal with a lot of the time, but it's just so good to see Ryung just be the higher class player that we always knew he could be.
Yes.
And I'm feeling good about if he can keep doing the games like that against someone like herO, I'm feeling actually not too bad about this tournament and also GSL.
It's small incremental things, right? Because, I mean, there were Widow Mines for a good while in the back of those mineral lines that weren't dealt with, etc. What do you make of it, Atos?
Well, he did a great job, right? Because he defended long enough and got to enough tech.
Yeah.
And he was poking herO some. You know, the Protoss player that's going Phoenix Adept doesn't want to be dealing with things like Widow Mines back home. They just they want to stay aggressive and keep you on your back foot. But Ryung, he did his little jabs back, and once he lost all his SCVs, it was like, well, the army is so good, I might be able to win anyways. And there you have it.
Yeah, he was up like 30-odd army supply. He had a good count of Liberators, cut into the Phoenix count as well. And yeah, I mean, we all saw that ending engagement here on the main stream. That was just class act there by Ryung, just really toppled over and snowballed. Got it.
Very well done for game number 1. Got him. I like it. Like it very much. All right, we're going to head into game number 2 here with Todd and Rotterdam to find out who's going to be victorious moving forwards.
Thank you very much, guys. Looking forward to seeing if herO can come back here in this series. I really think that he was doing really well, to be honest. Like, he had a great start. I would say, in my opinion, his biggest mistake was, you know, when he was doing the big attack that was killing all the SCVs?
Yep.
The Adepts in the main were never going to escape. There was a depot all off at the ramp, but those in the natural, they had already done the damage. If he had actually evacuated with these, he would have had enough, I think, left over to hold that big attack by Ryung at the end. No, he chose to, he was like, can you die already? So he shaded them in. And, well, guess what? If you sacrifice this many units against Ryung, he's going to be smart enough to know that he has to counter all in, and then he just had too much.
No, you're spot on. He absolutely overstayed his welcome. He didn't have to stay there for that long, especially because he was on 3 bases and he was getting +2. But you could just see, like, he was like, all right, this guy is about to die. I killed a whole bunch of SCVs. I killed a whole bunch of Marines. I had the most greedy of greedy openings ever. Like, there's no freaking way he's going to survive against my 40 Adepts that are going to shade everywhere. But for some reason, this man did not die. Obviously, Liberators can be great against Adepts, and obviously the Widow Mines, they got some good hits off. And also, of course, shout out on the Prism snipe. That was also incredibly important, cutting off the reinforcements. And you could just see herO falling apart a little bit. I mean, the Mothership Core showed up, Todd. There is only one reason why the Mothership Core showed up. We have detected an F2.
It's not the time warp.
No. We have detected an F2 user. You could just see he was falling apart. I mean, that was a full energy Mothership Core. It didn't recall it at all. And indeed, going back to later on, it's like, just sit back, wait. You know, you've got 3 bases. Your opponent only has 10 SCVs. Every extra 7 Adepts or an extra Void Ray that you can get out, maybe with a Photon Overcharge or 2, if you don't lose that Mothership Core, maybe he could have salvaged the situation and still killed that army. Either way, it made for a great game for us. We're loading into Belshire Vestige for our second map of this best of 3. We're looking at the main base of the man that should have perhaps won game number 1, but he didn't. Representing OSC Root, it's herO.
Going for a very quick scout here, actually, right after his Python. Wants to know how this guy is opening, playing as the blue Terran. It's TS's Ryung.
What a resurgence.
With the gas first here, actually.
What a resurgence by this guy. A while ago, I really kind of felt that like Ryung, his best days were behind him, and obviously it'd still be relevant, but if you would have told me that he was going to show up at IEM, do just incredibly well in his first 3 games, beat Beyond 2-0, make top 4 of GSL, I'd be like, nah. You know, we all miss the Axiom days and stuff, but come on, man.
Previously of Slayers and Axiom. It's crazy, actually. Like, it's almost reaching the point where I'm like, well, where does Ryung fit in the World Terran ranking? Because, like I said before, it's the top 4 is supposed to be very clear, right?
Yep.
But is it really?
I still think it is, but let's... I mean, maybe after this weekend he could prove us wrong. If he just like...
There's like so many good Terrans that we have to extend to like top 5 now.
I mean, you have to think of Gumiho as well. You have to think of Alive and stuff. There's some some great Terrans out there, mostly coming out of Korea.
Almost as if their race was pretty good.
Nah, the big four is still the big four, but Ryung is absolutely knocking on the door. I can't stop it rhyming. No, it's gonna be fun. Let's see how he does this weekend. As we see the factory being thrown down. So far, of course, an excellent start for him.
Yeah, and herO, it's really hard to recover from a game like this. Like again, I really feel like he had a good opener and stuff, but he's a man of many different builds. The thing with herO though is like it feels like he picks the builds more depending on map than opponent a lot of the time. And when he goes for one of his builds that he's done before, the next few steps are almost always the same. He's not gonna vary that much. So say for example he opens Phoenix, it's almost always gonna be a ton of adepts behind it and then an attack. The only difference sometimes is that, like I said before, he would throw in a double forge and play a little bit more passive at times. But there is always going to be a ton of adepts no matter what to combo with this. So
I think it's not just mentally hard because he was in a great position, Todd, but I also think build order-wise, it was the absolute dream scenario, right?
I just know when I had a game like this, even in Warcraft 3 or something, I would be like, oh my god, like I pressed everything perfectly, got lucky items, and then this is what happens. And in StarCraft, it's the same thing.
Yeah. You're gonna ask yourself, if I can't win that game, you know, how else am I gonna win? I know that it was supposed to be not a free win, it's never a free win, but if you talk about best case scenario when it comes to build orders, and especially after the Oracles did so much damage, you really can't complain as a Protoss player about that start. But I guess, I mean, herO is a veteran, he's won multiple IEM tournaments, so I'm sure that he can shake it off and move forward.
The robo is a bit delayed here, but should be there on time, assuming herO keeps his units in position. He did scout that there was most likely going to be some sort of Widowmine drop potential from Ryung, and he opened 3 gateways pretty quickly with Resonating Glaives. I'm not sure if that's because he wants to be aggressive, but you need to respect those Widowmine drops in the first.
Yeah, but I mean, this is why most Protoss players open up with the Robo before the Twilight, right? I actually like playing Twilight before Robo, but there is always this one moment where your Observer is not going to be in time yet, and you need to have units in the right place. He's going to warp in 3 Stalkers. That could be enough.
There's no pylon actually at this base, so he can't even warp in that close to the Nexus.
He does have 2 Adepts here, though, and Adepts do quite a bit of damage, but does he have 1 mine? 1 mine? No, he's not going to drop it all.
I mean, there is enough units, I think, they would die. 3 Adepts and 3 Stalkers is a good amount. Then usually you dedicate the Mothership Core to your other base. Warp Prism now on the way.
I like that triangle of pilots.
And okay.
This one will burrow.
Woo!
This one.
Make 1 probe.
Photon Overcharge could actually kill the medevac. He's waiting.
Waiting for it.
Yeah, he's like, commit.
It's like one of those movies, not yet, not yet.
Yeah, he's like playing sniper.
And they blow the TNT. And herO's gonna go for an attack here, almost certainly. He was already on a lot of units. He's going for the Prism now.
Oh!
So that chases away that Medivac.
Wow.
This counter attack could do a lot here. herO is actually going very aggressive, and I'm not sure Ryung's able to anticipate that this is gonna be coming. If he has units in the main, yeah, I mean, this could do a lot.
Yep, it's gonna definitely do quite a bit of damage. But with the bunker, I mean, Ryung should be safe. Actually, he pulls the SCVs incredibly quickly. Love the micro. The medevac in the middle of the map might get intercepted by the Stalkers. No, medevac too fast.
I was wondering if he might chase that, but no. herO might be aiming to go for the top of that ramp. Yeah, I think he's gonna drop these units there, try to go for a big adept warp in.
Oh, he's gonna be careful. The Prism is gonna take a lot of damage. But he does keep it alive. 1 adept took a lot of damage.
Almost a rap god. So pretty fast talking there. Roddy is gonna go actually for the natural here with a ton of adepts on top of the tank. He actually is blocked. He blocked the SCVs from repairing by shading them on top of that tank. So he gets that, and now he's gonna have to evacuate. Ryung with a great defense so far, even though finally herO was able to get one of these tanks. And in the meantime, we don't really have a transition out of herO. I mean, he's getting more gates, a forge, and an immortal, but no sign of a 3rd base.
Wow, these adepts are doing some serious work right now, Todd. 10 SCVs have gone down already, and a couple of very low HP SCVs as well. He wants them, but he also doesn't want to lose the Prism.
Of course they did great damage. I said that it was a great defense from Ryung. Next thing you know, 11 SCVs.
No, I do agree with you. It was very solid early on. herO adding a lot of additional gates. I do think he wants to go up to 3 bases, though, because I feel this is not an army composite. Well, that's
with 5 more gates?
Yeah. I still think...
Even if you get a 3rd Nexus, like this is already a massive commitment to attack.
I mean, he did a lot of economic damage, but did he really do that much that he can just run across the map and win? Obviously, the Immortals are incredibly beefy, and they pack one hell of a punch as well, so you can take care of a tank, you can take care of the bunker, something that Adepts can't do that well. see.
I wonder if herO's plan here is to maybe try and squash the army that he thinks is going to hit him eventually very soon, and then go for a counter-attack. That could be deadly, and you're going to want to be careful here as Ryung, because Blink is close to finishing, and if he starts throwing away units like this, he's going to encourage herO to counter-attack even more. I love that herO kept the War Prism alive here, by the way. So many Protosses would have lost that by being overly aggressive. One of them is talking right now.
I don't know what the probe is doing at the fort. This is definitely not the time to go up to 4 bases, as herO is still only on 47 workers. That's when you don't even want to dream about a fort nexus. Ryung is moving across the map with more units now. It's very important that herO has some vision of that. Okay, he does have the Zelnaga watchtower. Do we have any observers on the map? Is it just like a single observer with the army or something? Where is it? Okay,
it's across the map actually. You don't want to be careful. I mean, there is only one Widow Mine, but if there were a couple more, this could really get very dangerous.
It's interesting that herO is going up to 3 bases, as this War Prism will perhaps get chased down. A few SCVs, excuse me, a few Marines are going to try to hunt it down. I guess eventually the Prism should fall. Plenty of Marines over here as well. These Adepts are going to die as well. Good job there by Ryung, getting rid of that Prism. Well done.
And that's going to force herO to make another one if he wants to be aggressive, which you want to be making Immortals if you want to be attacking as well. So right now, no opportunity to start that up until when that Immortal finishes. And with this amount of Immortals, herO wants to be aggressive. He wants to have some Guardian Shields, some Force Fields, Shade. These Adepts on top of the Terran army, ideally.
It all comes down. It all comes down to the engagement with these army. I mean, this comes ironic hearing it from me, but eventually you do want to get some splash damage against Terran, right? Like Immortals are very good, but if you have too many of the same units, like it really comes down to the engagement. And this actually seems like a pretty good engagement, I think, for herO, as the Adepts are going to be on top of the Marines as well. He's got 5 Immortals here, Todd. 5 Immortals are going to completely destroy these tanks, and he's going to murder this army of Ryung. But at the same time, Ryung is killing a couple of probes on the left bottom side.
There's no pylon there to reinforce as well, so herO, I think he's just going to evacuate that base. I love this choice. If he had come back to defend, he would have been in Ryung's favor. He just sends a couple of Stalkers, and he's marching across the map here right now to try and counter-attack and kill Ryung. But the War Prism has to be remade from scratch and from the start.
I love small moves there. Instead of trying to pick up those Marines and losing them all, he saves the medevac and actually gets 2 Stalkers for his effort. herO needs to start rebuilding probes. As good as that fight was, it's not good enough for herO to win. He's F2ing again, he's bringing the Mothership Core, and I still don't believe it's for Time Warp, Todd.
Maybe it is.
Or maybe it's not.
And you can't really attack into this.
No. I think that he thought that he absolutely won that battle, but perhaps he took too much damage on the left bottom side. Now he goes back to building probes. He looked at that bunker and the tanks and the bio units. He's like, oh my god, and the Liberators. He's like, all right, I can't break this. And now we see the Robo Bay going down as well. Because even though that battle was a victory, it wasn't a landslide victory, and he took damage on the left bottom side. That really wasn't all that bad for Ryung. Even though it looked really bad, the actual fight was obviously not great. But all the other things went quite alright for Ryung.
I'm loving these games, man. So many mind games between these two. herO, he basically hard-countered Ryung's style of staying on 2 bases for a very long time this game. He went for a lot of Adepts, Immortals, and Stalkers to basically counter these 2 base pushes that you know are going to be coming. If you rush to Colossus too early, you can die to this. If you rush to too many upgrades, to too much tech. So no, he stayed low tech, ton of gateway units, and now more economic damage.
Oh,
it actually recalls.
I mean,
that was for the recall.
Maybe that's what it was for all along. 8 workers
it's
again.
Smart actually, because when you move across the map with your entire army, it's very tempting for Terran to drop, right? So then you recall, and since it takes forever for the units to be active again, the Terran picks up and leaves.
How many workers did Ryung kill throughout this game? It's like 20 something, right? 18.
Yeah, good
So
number.
it really starts adding up, especially because herO has been a low probe, right? Like if a Protoss goes up to 75 workers and they lose 18 workers throughout the game, that's like nah. But he's been around 47, 48, so it really hurts.
This is the big problem of this kind of army here. It starts becoming worse and worse as the Terran army becomes much bigger. There's a couple Stalkers behind there, but Disruptor's not there just yet. He's actually going to even send back the Shades. Disruptor shot on the mines!
On the mines?
Oh! If he had gone for that, but I'm not sure if there is an observer actually nearby. It might be across the map still.
He probably recalled it as well.
He's gonna go. He's gonna go.
Oh my god. These mines are gonna do so much damage. Will they do friendly fire as well? Not a tiny bit. I think this Terran army Todd is way too strong. Immortals are good, but they ain't that good against Marines. Photon Overcharge is probably not gonna save the day either. And Ryung is off to an amazing start in this group, Todd. beats Beyond 2-0, and now he's about to 2-0 herO as well in 2 really cool games.
Who is good enough for this guy? So far, nobody. Powering through every single one of his opponents, and herO is going to be another casualty here. Ryung was so solid this game. I really think that herO played so well both games, really.
I
Like
think he should have
countered
built
his style perfectly, but Ryung was like, you know what? You want to make a ton of gateway units? Let me show you why this is bad.
I think
I'm
a
just
lot of
gonna massive kill
people
you.
will be looking at these games and wonder why herO didn't just build more workers. Why did he stop at 47 when he had that much freedom and he really had Ryung cornered? I think that is the big question and a lot of people will have. herO knows the writing is on the wall for this one as Ryung takes the 2-0 victory. What a start for him, Todd. 2-0 in best of 3s, 4-0 in maps.
Great performance from our Terran player. I really like the way he dealt with this. Like after he realized what was happening, the perfect reaction, which is so hard. Like, again, we see the whole map, right? It's like we're observing here, but when you're actually playing a game like this, sometimes you mind game yourself into thinking something, and the opponent is taking a lot more than you actually think. But no, Ryung fully realized that herO was basically stuck on gateway units and immortals. And he was like, you know what? Let me make a couple Liberators and Widowmines and teach you why this is bad.
Yeah, great games by him. Great series, especially after that super rough start. I mean, that Cactus Valley game was absolutely crazy. This was a game where herO was obviously never that far ahead. And even though he won that battle, like I said, he took damage on the left bottom side, was low on workers. Definitely was not in a position to just run across the map and win. But just gotta give kudos to this guy. He's in a great position right now. He still has a couple of tough games ahead of him. Obviously has to go against Snoot, has to go against herO Marine. That could be a fun series as well. And then against Solar. Can't wait to see what happens in group number A. But first we're gonna head over to a very small break. And after that we'll be back with an interview between Smix and Ryung.
was the 3-time IEM champion and herO going up against the GSL semi-finalist in Ryung, and Ryung comes out on top. Congratulations, Ryung. That was a 2-0. You're looking so good right now. Just first of all, like how confident are you with such a great result so far? 일단 지금 너무 잘하고 있는데 벌써 4대 0이잖아요. 그래서 지금 자신감이 넘칠 것 같은데 실제로 어떠세요?
아직 반도 안 끝났기 때문에 이런 거에 연연하지 않고요. 그냥 아직 경기 안 했다고 생각하고 남은 경기에 임해야 될 것 같아요.
So he gives a very humble answer. He says, honestly, I still have a lot of matches left to go. So despite the great results so far, I'm not going to let that influence me too much. I'm just going to focus on the rest of my matches in this group. Now let's talk about the series you just had against herO. That first match in particular, it just looked so bad for you for a while, but somehow you were able to come back and take the win. So how were you able to do that? 일단 그 김준호 선수와의 첫 경기에 대해서 좀 얘기해 주세요. 너무 불리한 상황에서 이제 역전해서 이제 이겼는데 어떻게 그렇게 이길 수 있었나요?
그게 지금 현재 테란드 토스전의 상황이라고 생각하고요. 마지막 그냥 최대한 버텼고 너무 어이가 없어서 계속 버티다 보니까 상대 선수가 한 번 무리를 했는데 그걸 잘 막았던 것 같아요.
He says, honestly, I feel like that's kind of the state of TVP right now. In the game, I was a little bit taken aback. He just kept coming at me again and again, and I just thought to myself, I just really need to hold on. I really need to defend, and I think there was one moment that he extended a little too far, and I was able to capitalize on that, and that's why I was able to win. Now, Ryung, you've played one really strong Terran. Beyond, you killed him 2-0. You played a really strong Protoss player. You just killed him 2-0, and now you're going up against Solar, a very strong Zerg player. So how's your TVZ looking nowadays? 일단 이제 토스 선수, 테란 선수 정말 잘하는 선수들을 이제 4대 0으로 이겼는데 이제 다음 상대는 강민수 선수 정말 잘하는 저그 선수네. 이제 저그전 대해서 자신 있는지.
그냥 앞선 선수들과 했듯이 좀 차분하게 경기를 임해야 될 것 같고 근데 앞 경기도 이길 줄 몰랐는데 해봐야 알 것 같아요.
He says, just moving forward, I want to stay calm, I want to stay focused, and honestly, even the games that I just played, I didn't think that I was going to win as easily as it happened, but I'm just going to stay calm and focused, and hopefully things will work out. So congratulations again, Ryung. Best of luck in your next match, and with that, it'll be Ryung, the GSL semi-finalist, with that win.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the analysis desk here. Yes, Ryung looking so powerful in these past two series that we've been able to catch.
That's crazy. I eat my words completely. You know, he's historically been a little bit weak against this style of play, but is smashing herO 2-0. Well, I guess the first game was pretty close, but God, he looks good right now, right?
Yeah, he looks very, very scary. I mean, these are the kind of performances that I expect of someone who then potentially goes on to win the entire tournament, or at least get top 2, top 4.
Yeah, I mean, we were doing a bunch of predictions yesterday, looking at the groups, deciding who's going to go 3, and honestly, like, Ryung was kind of on my radar, but he wasn't, like, top 3 to me. And don't I feel like a fool?
This is just how we've got to look at him now.
I mean, his TVT we know is fantastic, and we've just confirmed right before our very eyes that his TVP is crushingly awesome as well.
Yeah, so
got another game here.
We've already gone to Artos' laptop.
Ready, yeah. Okay, so anyways, Snoot versus Solar. Game 2, Snoot on Abyssal Reef. They did the same build up to the 3rd base, and then Snoot just made tons of units, went for it, a Baneling Roach all in. Solar held it, had a couple great Bane connections that killed a lot, so just kind of had more supply, was able to roll them over. This is game 3.
Yeah.
It was pretty darn close throughout. Solar got a little edge doing some harassment with some Zerglings and Banelings, but then he decided to do something. This used to be a big part of the ZVZ meta, the Roach Bane.
Yes.
But we haven't seen it recently, and he did this with a Supermax. So, and that's when you go above the 200 supply by making buildings and canceling.
Supermax.
That's right. Just like the prisons.
Yeah.
So just take a look at how Solar ends up winning this game. He did end up taking it to 2-1. Get it into position. See, now he doesn't know that there's Banes yet, and here we go. The Banes are coming now. He's forcing a lot of these units back to reposition. See, there's a huge chunk of the army going back, and then he's going to get a lot of connections there. And of course, his Roach Ravager army is just as big as his opponent's because he's Supermax to get there. And this is where Solar just starts to run away with it because Snoot can't even get out of here. The way he had to retreat, he's on the wrong side of the map with his army. He can't run.
Yeah, it's not just a case of the Banelings being able to do damage, but it's also negating damage from your opponents because they have to make that reposition, right?
Yeah, and just the fact that it's like they're playing with the same army, the same units, the same upgrades, except we also have a bunch of banelings added in there because he did have that extra money. So that was like a really good time for him to use that kind of super maxing technique, get those banelings out. It's a style we don't see as much anymore in ZVZ, but cool to see Solar pull that out and get a victory in his group.
Snoot having a little bit of a hard time in his first 2 series. What do you make of it, Maynard?
Yeah, I mean, Snoot's not the #1 foreigner as he used to be a long time ago.
Not anymore.
Not anymore, but he's certainly like on the cusp. He's only like, a little bit away from the top foreigners in the world. And he can take games with these people, but I gotta say, like, I definitely, again, to talk about group predictions, didn't have Snoot on my radar to come through the top 3 here. Compared to the other players in the group, this is kind of unfortunately expected, to be honest.
Oh, well, that will do it for us for now. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Hopefully we'll have some more games on down the line in just a little bit. Join us after the break for more Intel Extreme Masters Katowice action when the StarCraft matches continue.